Good day everyone, I'm Jackson Ian Gao. I am the second reporter for Group 9. My topic is all about what are the key elements of operations improvement and what are the broad approaches to improvement. So operation improvements helps organization achieve significant and sustainable improvements in business operation and performance by focusing on key drivers of organizational change. These drivers include business process, management system, performance indicators, and supporting infrastructure. Operation improvements is important because it effective practices that support business process improvement can help remove inefficiencies and ultimately improve the productivity of team members. With goals of enhancing processes, organizations can evaluate performance metrics and evolve processes without restricting the way teams work. The elements of improvement are the individual fundamental ideas of improvement are improvement cycles, a process perspective, end-to-end processes, evidence-based problem solving, customer centricity, voice of the customer, system and procedures, reduce process variation, synchronize flow, emphasize education training, perfection is the goal, with the identification, include everybody, develop internal customer supplier relationship. Improvement cycles. An important element within some improvement approaches is the use of a literally never-ending process of repeatedly questioning and re-questioning the detailed working a process or activity. This involves collecting and analyzing data so as to formulate a plan of action which is intended to improve performance. Improvement cycles are based on a plan, do, study, act process. While there are many models for continuous improvement, plan, do, study, act, or PDSE cycle provide implementation teams with a framework for problem solving barriers. The PDSE cycle consists of 4 pieces: plan, do, study, act. Plan is identify barriers or challenges using multiple data points and specify the plan to move programs or innovation forward and identify the outcomes that will monitored. Do is carry out the strategies or plan as specified to address the challenges. Study. Use the measures identified during the planning phase to assess and track progress. Act is make change to the next iteration of the plan to improve implementation. A process perspective. Even if some improvement approaches do not explicitly or formally include the idea, the talking process perspective should be central to operation improvement almost all do so implicitly. There are two major advantages. First, it means the improvement can be focused on what actually happens rather than which part of the organization has responsibility for what happens. In other words, if improvement is not reflected in the process of creating products and services, then it is not really improvement as such. Second, all parts of the business manage processes. This is what we call operation as activity rather than operation as a function. Refers to internal business process, metrics based on this perspective allow the managers to know how well their business is running and whether its product and services conform to customer requirements. End-to-end processes. Some improvement approaches take the process perspective further and prescribe exactly how processes should be organized. One of the more radical prescription of business process reengineering is, for example, is the idea that operations should be organized around the total process which adds value for customers rather than the functions or activities which perform the various states of the value-adding activity. End-to-end process describes a process that takes a system or services from beginning to end and delivers a complete functional solution, usually without needing to obtain anything from third party. Evidence-based problem solving. In recent years, there has been resurgence of the use of quantitative techniques in the improvement approaches. In fact, much of the considerable training required by Six Sigma consultants is devoted to mastering quantitative analytical techniques. However, the statistical methods used in improvement activities do not always reflect conventional academic statistical knowledge as such. Evidence-based problem solving introduces students to the fundamentals of deliberate and structured approach to problem solving, balancing, analysis, and judgment to avoid the common pitfalls of problem solving in organization. Customer centricity. There is a little point in improvement use unless it meets the requirements of the customers. However, in most improvement approaches, meeting the expectation of customers means more than this. It involves the whole organization in understanding the central importance of customers to its success and even its survival. Customer centricity is the ability of people in an organization to understand customer situation, perceptions, and expectation. Voice of the customer. So, the voice of the customer is an idea that is closely related to the idea of customer centricity. The terms means capturing a customer requirements, expectation, perceptions, and preference in some day. Voice of the customer is exactly what you think it is. Listening to your customer. Voice of customer encompasses the process of gathering and understanding customer feedback so customer responses directly improve the product and customer experience. System and procedures. Improvement is not something that happens simply by getting everyone to think improvement. Some type of system that supports the improvement effort may be needed. An improvement system, sometimes called quality system, is defined as the organization's structure, responsibility, procedure, process, and resources for implementing quality management. Its process constitutes detailed methods, procedures, and routines which are required to carry out a specific activity, perform a duty, or solve a problem. Reduce process variation. Process changes over time, as does its performance. Some aspect of process performance, usually an important one, is measured periodically either as a single measurement or as a small sample of measurement. Reduce process variation is a multi-part strategy to reduce product variation and make a product more robust or fit to use, meet its performance requirements regardless of variation. Synchronized flow. Synchronized flow means that items in a process, operation, or supply network flow smoothly and with even velocity from start to finish. This is a function of how inventory accumulates within the operation. Whether inventory is accumulated in order to smooth differences between demand and supply or as contingency against unexpected delays or simply to batch for purposes of processing or movement. The term synchronized flow is meant to reflect the following features of the traffic phase. It is continuous traffic flow with no significant stoppage as often occurs inside a wide moving jam. The term flow reflects this feature. Emphasize education training. Several improvement approaches stress the idea that structured training and organization of improvement should be general to improvement. So, importance of education in life is so much that it changes the life of person entirely. Being educated makes you a productive individual. Literacy helps you engage with fellow humans and the working of the world to allow you to experience it in a more better way. Perfection is the goal. Almost of organization-wide improvement program will have some kind of goal or target that the improvement efforts should achieve. And while targets can be set in many different ways, some improvement authorities hold the measuring process performance again some kind of absolute target, thus most encouraging improvement. Perfection is something that we should strive for everything, every day. That's how we get things done well. Perfection is entirely about trying to achieve flawlessness, an unattainable goal. Humans are imperfect and our world is imperfect, yet some of us are addicted to perfectionism, which can the root cause of internal unhappiness. Waste identification. All improvement approaches aspire to eliminate waste. In fact, any improvement implies that some waste has been eliminated, where waste is any activity that does not add value. Include everybody. Harnessing the skills and enthusiasm of every person and all parts of the organization seems an obvious principle of improvement. The contribution of all individuals in the organization may go beyond understanding their contribution to not make mistake. Individuals are expected to bring something positive to improving the way they perform their jobs. Develop internal customer-supplier relationship. One of the best ways to ensure that external customers are satisfied is to establish the idea that every part of the organization contributes to external customer satisfaction by satisfying its own internal customers. The term internal customer and internal supplier can be used to describe the micro operations that take outputs from and give inputs to other micro operations. The internal customer supplier concept is regarded by some as one of the most powerful aspects to emerge from total quality management. What are the broad approaches to improvement? By the broad approaches to improvement, we meant the underlying sets of beliefs that form of a coherent philosophy and shape how improvements should be accomplished. Some of these approaches, Lean, Sigma, and management engineering, have improved efficiency. Total quality management as an improvement approach. Total quality management was one of the earliest management fashions. Its peak of popularity was in the late 1980s and early 1990s. As such, it has suffered from something of a backlash in recent years. A total quality management describes a management approach to long-term success through customer satisfaction. In total quality management effort, all members of an organization participate in improving processes, products, services, and the culture in which they work. The Lean approach is a way to think about the startup process that emphasizes the business model over the business plan and encourage a process of customer discovery and development. Lean is a transformational framework that aims to provide a new way to think about how to organize human activities to deliver more benefits to society and value to individuals while eliminating waste. Business process reengineering. The idea of business process reengineering originated in early 1990s when Michael Hammer proposed that rather than using technology to automate work, it would be better applied to doing away with the need for the work in the first place. All work, he said, should be examined for whether it adds value for the customer, and if not, processes should be redesigned to eliminate. Business process reengineering is the radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvements in critical aspects like quality, output, cost, services, and speed. Business process reengineering aims at cutting down enterprise costs and process redundancies on a very huge scale. Rethink business process in a cross-functional manner which organize work around the natural flow of information or materials or customers. The Six Sigma approach was first popularized by Motorola, the electronics and communication system company, when it sets its quality objective as total customer satisfaction in the 1980s. It started to explore what the slogan would mean to its operation processes. Six Sigma is a method that provides organization tools to improve the capability of their business process. This increase in performance and decrease in process variation helps lead to defect reduction and improvement in profits, employee morale, and quality of products or services. The Six Sigma approach uses number of related measures to assess the performance of operations processes. A defect is a failure to meet customer required performance. Defect measured from customer's perspective is an important part of the Six Sigma approach. A defect unit or item is any unit of output that contains a defect. A defect opportunity is the number of different ways a unit of output can fail to meet customer requirements, product or services. Defect opportunities, but very complex products or services may have hundreds of different ways being defective. Proportion defective is the percentage or fraction of units that have one or more defect. Defect per unit or DPU is the average number of defects on a unit of output. The number of defects divided by the number in items produced. Use of evidence. Although Six Sigma is not the first of the new approaches to operations to use statistical methods, it has done a lot to emphasize the use of quantitative evidence. Evidence is used to prove an argument when made by individuals or groups that believe something to be true or fact. Structural improvement cycle. The structural improvement cycle used in Six Sigma is the DMAIC cycle, or Define, Measure, Analyze, Improve, Control. Process design also includes process design in the collection of elements that define the Six Sigma approach. Process design is where the product is broken down into parts, which further can be helpful in the actual manufacturing process. For example, has attractive packaging to provide the right aesthetics plus has function and features which provide value of customer. Structured training and organizational of improvement. The Six Sigma approach holds that improvement initiatives can only be successful if significant resources and training are devoted to their management. There are many companies that have benefited from Six Sigma based improvement, but few have gone on to be able to sell other the expertise they gathered from applying to this themselves. Wipro is a global IT consulting and outsourcing company with 145,000 employees serving over 900 clients in 60 countries. Wipro, it was initially set up as manufacturer of vegetable and refined oils under the trade names of Kisan, Sunflower, and Camel. Wipro also has one of the most developed Six Sigma programs in the IT and consulting industries, especially in its software development activities, where key challenges involved included reducing the data transfer time within the process, reducing the risk of failures and errors, and avoiding interruption due to network downtime. For Wipro, Six Sigma simply means measure of quality that strives for near perfection. It means having products and services that meet global standards, ensuring robust processes within the organization. So that's all everyone, and thank you.